Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 5. In this video today we're going to be playing a little bit of Constructed. We're going to be playing the Gnar Fizz Yordles and Arms deck. And so before we jump in, a couple things I do want to talk about. The way I do look for the channel to kind of go forward in the future is to cover off on these things. And so I'm looking to still make the daily videos, and then I'd like to make one video each day of the week covering each of these things. And so we're going to have like a top of the meta day, whatever is the current big and exciting and popular thing in Constructed. That's what we'll be covering today. Some kind of meme slash fun deck. We'll touch on that at some point. That's kind of where the Jace deck in the previous video would fall. I would like to take some kind of like user submitted decks and do a deck doctor-esque kind of thing with it. And so if you have a fun deck you'd like to see us play and mess around with, you can just send me the deck code over on Twitter. I'd like to come up with something of my own, and then play a gauntlet. I'd like to cover off on each of these things at least once a week, and then that leaves me a couple of days left over to do kind of just whatever. So if we want to play more constructed, that's there. I am kind of interested in playing in some of the Mastering Runeterra tournament series, but I'm not really confident that I can piece together like 8 hours a time for the tournaments of that size. But we'll see what happens, and then as I talk about just doing the occasional variety stuff that could fit in those last 2 days as well. But as the expeditions wind down, I think we have like 19 or 20 left to go until we hit 500, and then we're going to cut those out. This is the things I'm looking to bring forth and bring forward, and so. Hope you're cool with it. Hope you're on board. I think this should give us a good balance of not just playing the same decks every day, not strictly focusing on kind of like meme decks and like brews. I feel like there's people out there doing that better than us. Not focus entirely on trying to just get to the top of the ladder. There's most certainly people better than that than us, but try and get a nice mix of gameplay in here to get people to improve in the area from platinum to diamond, or gold up to platinum, and then have some fun while we're at it. So we aren't just playing whatever flavor of Gnar is popular this week. And so, yeah, as we were looking at this to kind of be a top of the meta kind of thing, I do like to go over to Balco's site, lormeta.com. I should say lor-meta.com. He does a lot of the statistical analysis surrounding the metagames and Runeterra. And I think his site is fantastically easy to navigate as well. And so we are just over on the tier list on his site. We've switched it to the past 7 days in Platinum Plus over in the Americas region. And you can certainly see if you take a moment of yourself to scroll through things. Gnar is is quite popular, and so I can't quite tell if it's just a function of these are the new cards and Gnar is clearly the best of the new cards, or if he's just going to be the monster of the meta until Riot puts out a patch. But I did kind of like go through the sorted by play rate and check out all of the Gnar decks, and he's getting pretty close to 25%. Like it's like 6, this gets us up to like 12 with Gnar Ziggs here. This extra 4 gets us up to like 16 or so, and then with the other Gnars just on the first page here of play rate, he's getting up pretty close to 25%. And so I would suspect something will come in. It's tough though, right? I do play Teamfight Tactics a bit on the casual side, and people have just been like ravaging the devs over the new patch from it. And I think it's kind of shitty. Just to, they kind of the devs. I don't know how many games they'd realistically get to play, but say it's like 1,000, and then compare that to the hundreds of thousands of matches that are happening out in the wild, and so there's going to be some misbalances out there. But Riot seems to be pretty quick on making those changes and updates. And so I don't know if they'll just kind of let Gnar settle. I wouldn't be surprised to see him catch like a minor nerf. I don't think it would be something like an up in his cost, but I could definitely see him getting dropped to like 3 attack, or something to bring him down a little bit and try and drop this 25% play rate down. But, that's what we've talked about kind of in our previous videos. You're going to run into Gnar. You have to expect it. So you need some way to deal 3 damage to something. And then ideally you'll have a deck that isn't completely susceptible to Pokestick. And so, that kind of leads us to what we're going to be dealing with today. I will not play Trundle Gnar. I can't just sit around and bitch about concurrent timelines and play that one ourselves, but that is what the current top win rate deck under these circumstances are. Up next is Misfortune Quinn. That's the Scouts deck. I think this is just a holdover as being one of the best aggro decks without using the new cards. I'm not really surprised to see things like Scouts. I'm actually surprised to see lurkers down so low in win rate. It's not that big of a difference, right? 52% compared to 54%, but those should be the 2 big aggro decks punishing everyone for trying to play with new cards. And then otherwise, it is a mountain of Gnar. But this brings us up to what we're going to be playing here is with Fizz Gnar. I feel like Fizz Lulu is still pretty strong, but I don't think it really uses any new cards. And I do want to kind of focus on some of the new cards out here today. So Fizz Gnar it is, and I'm using this the Burrow Prohibits deck from over on Mobilytics. And so the big things you're trying to do with the Yordles and Arm style deck, you're being pretty aggressive, which we of course love to do, and then you're trying to take advantage of Yordles and Arms, which is very easy to pop off for the +4/+4. It's very easy to punch through a bunch of elusive damage, whether or not you're using it from Fizz or using it from Poro Cannon. You also have the options to punch through with Overwhelm damage through Mega Gnars, and it just ties back into this deck all pretty nicely. I have gotten to play a handful of practice games with it. I've been pretty happy with it up to this point. The only thing I've been kind of unsure about and the things I don't like are I tend, every time I play Bandle City these days, I just find an excuse to play Conchologist. I have a hard time believing it's not correct to play the combo of Gnar, Loping Telescope, and Conchologist, and literally whatever Bandle City deck you're playing. I mean, maybe if you're playing Bandle Tree, it's not exactly worth it, but for essentially everything in Bandle City, I think that probably applies, and it also probably applies to playing 3 Pokesticks and 2 Wallops. Just so, if you're looking to play Bandle City, it's pretty tough to ignore that just gigantic value package that they're presenting. And that's what I realistically expect to see get nerfed in the future, is things like Loping's Telescope to become a 2/1, things like Conchologist to become a 1/2, or just have a little bit less stats, and not just be these pretty reasonably statted bros while providing all of this value. But that's the one thing, we aren't playing Conchologist. And then kind of in terms of seeing things like Lulu Fizz to where you can boost up Flame Chompers, there's no way in this deck to boost Flame Chompers. And so I'm not entirely excited to be playing this, but you do find yourself in some nice combats to where you just hook something and get it out of the way, or of course you can just boost it with Yordles and Arms. And so, yeah, that's the big thing. We're going to come out here, we're going to try to be aggressive. We have a little bit of board control and burn with the Mystic Shot, Pokestick, Get Excited package, and then the Yordles and Arms is the big game ender. And so, aggro decks, we love them. So we do have that, and then I've been trying to consider how we're going to handle the pay-to-win lifestyle, and I think we do have to come in and just turn something premium. I wish it was easier to see on this screen. I don't think there's filters for it, right? filter Vice Prismatic not owned, it just switches it back to the actual deck, and so we're going to have to scroll through here real quick. These are actually, it's like as we get out here and play Constructed, it's actual good cards in our deck. And so I have noticed Pokestick, I have noticed Wallop. I think this would be a pretty good time to level up our Pokestick. And all right, the pay-to-win fee has been paid. Let's go ahead and jump into some battles. So cool. Yeah, I've been pretty happy with this deck. As everyone knows from Expedition, I am a lover of the aggro decks. Of all the things in the world there are to love, aggro decks are right up there at the top of the list, and I've been pretty happy with this one. And so starts like this, not ultra exciting. I don't like starting with the Urchins against decks that can probably interact with it, and here they're probably not going to interact with it, so let's keep the Urchin and try and get this early damage in. We don't have to have a Flame Chompers to make the Urchin interesting. You can just cycle away whatever your most expensive card is and probably be reasonably happy with it. I'm trying to consider if we want to keep this Mystic Shot. It's probably okay to get rid of. I don't think coming out of well, he is playing Bandle City. It's like I see Heimer Victor and assume it's just going to be some kind of really like slow deck, but seeing the Bandle City in there makes me be like, well, we could probably pop a Conchologist here on the second turn. Right. Unfortunate start. You weren't supposed to have 1-drops, my dude. But again, it's not that bad at the end of the day. Of course, we do always, prefer to be like playing a ballistic bot and then discarding the ignition to the urchin, but it's still okay to cycle. Nothing wrong with that. Here, it's fairly tempting to just take this point of damage. I mean, if his angle here is to Mystic Shot the ballistic bot, I'm kind of okay with it. And then I have to imagine this is one of these games we might win with just actually not attacking, right? As we have this triple ballistic bot hand, we can pretty realistically pop off a bunch of ignitions and use that to win the game. Here comes my dude. The burn's coming right at you. Yeah, after playing all these ballistic bots in Expedition, we need the reforges, right? As we're getting 3 ballistic bots on board, these bros certainly need to be able to pick up some overwhelm. So what I'm looking to do here, I think I just want to play 1 ignition and then discard another to the urchin, and then try and get Gnar going on the following turn. We can play like 1 ignition Gnar on the follow-up turn if we want. I mean, our bots are getting pretty big though. He's gonna have to pay some real respect to this stuff. I mean, his attacks currently suck. He didn't try to burn down the ballistic bot after attacking with the otter post. It could have just been because he's going to have this 2-attack board coming at us, but I'm a little surprised that he hasn't done anything to take down our 2-health bot. A little far away from Yordles in arms. I mean, this is the big thing with this deck, though, right? If you aren't familiar, we've played all P and Z units. It wants to see you play 4 regions. Gnar counts as Bandle City Freylord, even though we aren't playing the Freylord half of it, right? You see him pop up to 3 ticks on the arms. So kind of awkward that it works that way, but it's decent. Bring it in the Professor Von Mech, sure. He shouldn't be able to interact with this Gnar. Let's go ahead and attack with these 2. We unfortunately don't have like the Mystic Shot in case he has something weird, but the worst thing that should be coming at our Gnar would be the likes of a stress defense. Barrier. Oh man, I forget about this thing. I forget that Bandle City can do it all. But this is fine. We're still in a pretty decent space here. That took a big chunk of his mana, and we're able to continue dropping the ignitions. Giving out barriers. What's that nonsense? Making me look all wrong and silly out here. What do we got? Anything exciting? Not particularly. I'm kind of interested in the Eye of the Dragon, since we can play it, ignore playing the Bomber Twins, and then get the Dragon next turn for a bit of Overwhelm, or a bit of Lifesteal. I think it'll be okay. We're like 100% going to play Yordles in arms next turn. Right? It's up to +4/+4 territory now. Just we unfortunately like aren't going to have the overwhelms for it, but we're going to just ace his whole squad. Like he can't be attacking here. These attacks look shitty, and then we'll just clear everything out. But I don't see a reason to cast any of our burn spells on his units, right? He has a bunch of dudes in his hand. Maybe some of these have been created by Von Yip. Looks like 2 of the 3 were. But I have to imagine if we like spend our burn spells clearing out his units, he's just easily going to refill the board. I mean, it's getting pretty tempting to not even play the Yordles in arms. Here it comes. Oh my goodness. Can get some value blocks on this stuff. With our ballistic bots. Yeah. Yeah, I say. But where are we at? We'll pick up 3 ignitions next turn. And then, so that would be like 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 with the pokey stick if we want to just go burn. I don't think that's ultra necessary, but we'll get a big shutdown here. Uh-oh, is he finally going to kill a ballistic bot? Oh, noes. Sure. Does suck to lose out on the lifesteal. Picking up 6 would make me feel a lot safer in this game, but it's not horrible. I have to just be killing 5 dudes here, right? Mustache ready. So, I guess the Bandle City Mayor is sporting quite the stash out here. Yeah, dude. Look at that. Holy shit, these dudes, he has like bros carrying around his mustache for him. Wow. I guess that's one way to live your life. Jesus. Alright, dude gets the victor. Let's start dropping more ignitions. We'll get a free Dragonling next turn as well, so we at least have another guy to block with. And we'll just have to kind of see how they take this game in terms of... I'm not going to play another Yordles in arms. Probably look to just open attack if we go into our next attack token and haven't won the game yet. Shouldn't be winning the game next turn, right? We'll have 3 from Ignition, 6 from Get Excited, 7, 8 from Mystic Shot, 9 from Pokey Stick. Be a little bit short. Victor get nasty? Nah, he just picked up tough. Alright, I'm going to start playing Ignitions. I don't want to just send it back to him. It's a... like, not horrible place for this guy to just send it back, right? And just let us pass with all this mana up. He can, like, reasonably block all of our ballistic bots next turn and not be lined up to die. So I'm not ultra comfortable passing without playing these ignitions. And then we still have plenty of mana to do, like, mystic shots and get excited and shit if we're worried about it. Whatever, like, interactivity we need in combat. Goes impact on the seedling. He's going to try to boom us. I would suspect he's going to, like, Victor hook the Eye of the Dragon. He doesn't have Overwhelm, so I don't completely care. And then we can still drop some bros on the board. I mean, we could realistically, like, Poro Cannon plus Yordles in arms next turn, but, I mean, it doesn't seem great. We do have, like, a bunch of Overwhelms, or a bunch of Elusives now, though. It's just, like, this is a pretty dangerous deck to be dropping Elusives on. We got a ton of mana now, though. Let's at least go for a Fizz. Fizz should be able to protect himself from just about every spell that these decks have. He could hit Fizz with a Mini-Morph, but outside of that, we have tons of stuff in hand to protect him spell-wise. I think it's probably a little greedy to go for the Poro Cannons, though. Victor just picked up Lifesteal. That shit's annoying. realistically about to just get mini morphed, right? That's what's gonna happen to our Fizz here. No. He could stress defense the Fizz, but this isn't gonna do it. Do we bring the whole squad? Like, how bad is this if Victor is allowed to block? Again, like if he has stress defense, let's do it like this. I'm gonna go ahead and play an Ignition. This will take him to 7 and get him to lethal range of the Fizz. And so now we can attack with Fizz. And if he does have the stress defense, he was just going to have it anyways, right? But now, if he doesn't have a way to interact with Fizz and then still gets a block with Victor, we can potentially get a kill. My brother about to have something. Stress defense. Yep. Where do we stand? I don't really want to switch my burn to taking this Victor down, but I mean he's gonna get all that damage in. There's nothing we can do about that. Okay. That's where it's gonna be. He is pretty worn out on cards at this point, though. It does suck to see them gain 12 health or whatever Victor just picked up, but I think we might still be okay here. I think I want to just go ahead and discard the Ignition to the Poro Cannon. Right, we're pretty far away from getting a burn kill. Okay. Let's play it. Ooh, Frozen Thrall. This could be good. This could be good to 8 turns from now. Why's that Conchologist so big? Starlit Seer pumped it up. Oh my god, where's all this shit coming from? I guess he's played a ton of spells. This has been like the best Starlit Seer of the year. Oh, this guy's just big because he's big. Oops, that makes sense. He just lives the big boy life out here. That shit's annoying, dude. Bringing in that value game on us. Okay, this seems fine. Oh my god, this is the longest game ever. You all only get to get like 3 games today. I hope that's enough to appease the masses. You gotta play these hour-long Grand Fests. Alright, bro, I'm bringing the elusives now. Do we want to actually, like, hook in the Starlit Seer? I mean, probably not. I wasn't anticipating to have to block with our Shark last turn, and I thought we were going to get to just Shark block the Seer, or Shark hook it with whatever these things are called, Chum the Waters. Oh my god, that shit's annoying. Need that Gnar back. Gotta get some value somewhere. Oh boy, Pursuit of Perfection. Oh my god, there's actually just going to lose this game, aren't we? Fuck. I mean, we could have taken a different route in this and gone for like the elusives plus the Yordles in arms. Just damn, that was just like way more than anything I was expecting. Well, it's always so brutal to get into these 18-minute games and lose. Oh man, it's like I don't know. I'm not sure what our angle there was. We certainly didn't have to make that attack into Victor, but I mean the next turn he was most definitely going to get to use him. It was painful losing our Gnar, but I still feel like that was pretty okay. It's tough to come and play around like the 4-mana combat trick. People typically play between 0 and 1 of those, and most people just play 0, and so very strange the way that all came about. Gnar Fizz, do your thing. You weren't supposed to have a unit. What's the deal with all these people having turn 1 plays? That's not supposed to be doing that. Do we just go for the Serpent? I think I like it. The Arena Kingpin is like little nice in that it can continually attack, but I think from this point we're just going to open. Hell yeah, Ripper's Bay. Just what we needed. Gonna get our lurkers going now. Only has 2 mana, Gnar should be safe enough. Alright. We can get some of these elusive bros in here now. Don't really want to interact with either the Wanderer or the Maokai. I mean, the Gnar attack should be safe enough, but don't want to get too involved with it. And we do have, like, if he has something strange to interact with the Gnar, we do have the Playful Trickster to back out of the combat. Too deep yet? 17. He'll be there next turn. Give me them pokey sticks, bruh. Please and thank you. Oh, we don't need to go face with that. He's already got the damage from our elusives. Do we want to kill any of this stuff off? Probably not. Just bank. I have to imagine we could get a pretty strong Playful Trickster on our next attack. We say like attack with the Telescope, Playful Trickster it back, and then get to attack twice with all of our elusives plus the Gnar. It's deep. Doesn't have any sea monsters on board, but he's definitely deep. So many Playful Tricksters. Alright. Is slightly awkward in that if we want to get like the hooks onto the Deadbloom Wanderer, I guess Gnar still like powers through that pretty handily. Alright, Fizz, do your thing. Did not care less about Lures of the Depths. I guess he can hit he can hit the elusive sea monster, but we do have we do have the stun to deal with that. We have to play this now? I can't remember the last time I've actually played Playful Trickster. Withering Whale. That's kind of lame, dude. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there. That's kind of lame. So the Withering Whale doesn't actually target Fizz, right? We take him to 9, still get the attack token back. We can replay a Fizz and then wallop something next turn. So like whatever blocks the Gnar, we can wallop back, but that's going to leave us 1 damage short. We could try to hit a different spell, but what happens if we wallop here? Oh, we have quick attack anyways. He doesn't get any lifesteal off of this thing. Okay. Still think we're okay. So I was anticipating getting the lethal there. We shouldn't be able to do anything. Let's telescope and see if we hit something cool. It's a Crescent Strike. That's kind of cool. It's not enough for a lethal here, but there's always just the Howling Abyss. That's a little greedy, let's be real. Okay. Alright, I mean, so our dudes should be reasonably protected here. The downside to this hand is we don't have a way to send a damage to face to flip our Fizz. Should we have just taken the Howling Abyss? It just feels like the game's going to be, like, well done before something like the Howling Abyss ever matters. Don't really want to have to spend the wallop. Like, the way I kind of envisioned us winning this game was using the wallop on a Gnar block, and we could have walloped last turn onto the 6th thing to get him down to 3, but it's just kind of the same to do that again later. Would we prefer to save the Crescent Strike for next turn? I don't think so. He's not, like, lethal here, but I don't want to lose Gnar to the sapling. Takes him up to 12. I think this one's out of reach. Okay. Give me a good spell. That's not it. that's not the good spell that we were hoping for. Fuck. I think this is all we can do. We have to save the wallop for next turn. Or, like, this is kind of okay. Here. Let's at least take away his option to put good blocks in front of Gnar. And then we don't have to spend the wallop. These flame chompers are pretty irrelevant at this point. Oh boy. I need another I need another Crescent Strike. Why couldn't you have turned up earlier, Pokestick? Sure. I mean, we can technically get a block onto one of them. And then we have the wallop for another. We could play the Boom Baboon, but it just gets shrunk by the Terror of the Tides. I think we just need to look for more more stuff to do. All right. Oh man, so close. So close. It just feels like these games are coming down to the opponent having the one drop to battle with our one drop. We're getting like so close to the lethals that like that's ultimately what a lot of this comes down to. Is we had the Zonite Urchin get blocked by the Otterpuss in the first game, and then we had the Fizz get shut down by the Dreg Dredgers in this game. Alright, reasonable enough curve. I don't think we want to start with the Get Exciteds. I'm not sure what this no champion style deck is supposed to be either. So let's get rid of the Get Exciteds. We'll hang on to the utility and everything else. Yordles and Arms, you would have been delightful in the previous game. If we could have blown up some of those big attacks, I would have been pretty stoked about it. Sure. Interesting. Sure. That doesn't seem ultra worthwhile. And getting the Mask Mother trade in. Now I think we just want to drop this Rock Bear. We're like nowhere close to doing like really aggressive things. Like, well, we can Yordles and Arms 2 turns from now. I guess that's what it comes down to. If we had a discard outlet, it wouldn't feel as bad. Because I don't really want to have to be like hard casting these Flame Chompers. Maybe we can just switch to Bomber Twins. Alright. Uh-oh. Bringing in things, Glimpse from Beyond, absolutely. Alright, we can very easily just get a full board now, and we have all of the units played for the Yordles and Arms. How do we feel? Any differently about these? He didn't take the Howling Abyss in the previous one. The Howling Abyss was not going to win us that last game. I think that's pretty certain. It's like, we can play the Star-Tipped Peak and pick up the cards 2 turns from now, but I don't think it's going to be that great. It's like the downside here is if we get AoE'd. Sure, he's just doing stuff. Don't feel like I'm particularly worried about the stuff that he's doing here. Alright, well, he didn't play the box on us. Did we do it? Did our units get all big and scary? And the Ruination. Oh, okay. Alright, well that's a pretty decent start to ending the game. Takes him to 1. Alright, dude, my Get Exciteds are ready. This is gonna be, is he gonna drop the big, the 8-drop thing? The copies a unit? Is it what they're trying to do? Is this like you play the 8-drop that puts a copy of a unit in your hand into play and then drop like a 10-drop Cythria or something? Some kind of weirdo combo deck that this guy's doing. Alright, here's the combos I enjoy. GG. All right, well, we're gonna win a game. That was cool. I wasn't sure that we were entirely capable of doing that. No, that's fine. Those other games were close. Just good to see that we can beat a 1-drop when it comes down on the first turn. Oh shit! All right, on to the next one. Man, I don't know how you European folks feel about the Kansas City weather. We've got to deal with this today. Let me see if we can figure this out. Fahrenheit to Celsius. There we go. Yesterday, Fahrenheit temperature 65. That's 18 in European units. Today, -12. Down to -24. It's a nice little 80-degree swing in the temperature. I woke up this morning to go to the gym and it's just like, oh fuck, it is gonna be chilly one today. But here, I think we can hang on to all of this. He is playing some kind of aggressive Draven and Ezreal thing. We might have to deal with a turn 1 play that we don't have a great answer to, but after that, I think we're okay. And I really like having the Mystic Shot for his Draven. Yeah, that was wild. It was like we were outside and doing shit over the weekend. It was nice in the 60s and 65s. Look at the temperature, -12. I made it though. Put on my hat, my coat. I braved the 15-foot walk to my car and headed on to the gym. But here, this is fine. I'll trade any of my units for Draven. We can save the Mystic Shots for later. I think that he just never blocks here anyways, and so I don't think it's too big of a worry. And so he might block with the Ballistic Bot, but I don't think he blocks with Draven. Why don't you switch these around, my dude? Weird. But okay. Cupcake it. In the beam. Nice. We'll list that play as suboptimal. Meme use, top notch. Top notch memeage coming out of here. Emoting, my bad. I gotta remember the difference. Okay. Maybe we'll drop this Star Spring. Get some healing on our units out here. Nope. Nope. Actual never doing that. Let's see, this is a little dangerous. We could have opened for 4. It's like I just kind of have the feeling that we're going to be dropping some Poro cannons this turn. And it's like we'll probably not be attacking with the Ballistic Bot. We'll play some Poro cannons, and then like this, where we ran into a removal spell, makes me feel much better that we didn't attack. Oh my god, is he just not doing anything? Is there an AoE that I'm missing? It's like he stopped and paused, thought about it for a heartbeat. It has to just be a get excited on our Ballistic Bot, right? Yeah. Okay. Still got a pretty healthy chunk of Poro damage in. Got 7 burn in hand. My mathematics are correct. We just need to do 8 damage before this burn will get him. Anything cool in here? These are definitely cool. I'm leaning towards the Hothead, just simply because we can play it this turn, right? If he says like attacks with the 4/3, then next turn we can hook the Sump Dredger with the Flame Chompers. The downside to that style of play is if he has an additional unit here, right? Which is weird. Like he had 5 mana last turn. I think it's probably pretty realistic that he has a 3-drop here. Let's just pick up the Hearthguard. He has no plays. I don't know. I don't know what's up with this. If he just has like the the strangest draw or what is going on with this, but I'm really surprised he didn't add additional units here. Raven Ezreal? Huh. I mean, I guess he could just have a bunch of like stun spiders in his hand and then they don't do anything. Given what we have on the board, right? You can't really like stun spider off daring Poros and have it be a successful turn. It is a good stun spider onto the Hearthguard, but it's so strange to me. Discard Scorched Earth, get excited.
The party has arrived.
Which is his 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright. We have the lethal if he doesn't stop any of our units. I wonder if that just advertises to him that we had the get excited in hand. Given that, you know, we hooked the Draven and we didn't Mystic Shot before the combat. He figures we just have the burn spells. I don't know. We're looking decent here. Might bring it back up to 50-50. Should we just go ahead and overwrite the Flame Chompers? It's like he never attacks here, right? It's like we're just still so short on lethal. Feels like he's just gonna drop an Ezreal on us or something and just blow up everything. Alright, just gets him to 1. This ballistic bottle. it'll do the magic for us next turn. I guess we should have played the obelisk first and then followed up with the ballistic bot. We have a million cards to discard here, but I don't think it's gonna matter. There's the pokey stick. That makes me feel a lot better. All right, GG. Mark it a W. Get us back up to the 50-50 mark. Feels good. Feels good. Man, I know you all were worried. My finger's doing better now. If anybody wanted to see that, it's less purple. I don't think. It's so weird. Like I know I've done that before. Like it happens with just like pulling on a barbell. I was doing hang cleans, and then I feel like the blood vessel just gets in the way or something, and it just pops and then doesn't actually bleed. It just bleeds in your finger. I had to quit lifting. I mean, it can't bend your finger when it does that, but we made it through. Life was challenging for a little bit. Now it's all better. All right, concurrent timelines, our favorite. Should we just come in and concede, right? Okay, so don't think we have to open. We can get the Flame Chompers. It's like he's like really incentivized to just play a unit here, but we can technically, like if depending on what he takes, just hit it with Flame Chompers. It's awkward seeing the what's that called? Vulnerable unit pop up. But we don't have any better interactivity for it. I wonder if we should just be building up board when we have this Yordles in arms already. Like we can't play Yordles. We can play Yordles in arms on 4, but it's not a very good one. But I mean, we have all the tools we need to flip it. We got the Freylord. We got the Sherima to hit the 4th faction. So at what point do we just take this, right? I don't think this is it. We need to be like safer after this turn. But I think we can get, like, we'll pass here. We'll get Gnar down this turn. Next turn we can get 3 units between discarding Flame Chompers and then the 2 units from Poro Cannon. And that, I mean, it's not a lethal not a lethal Yordles in Arms, but it's still reasonably powerful. We got to chunk in the damage here to get the Gnar thing going. Arena Battlecaster. Okay. No Mystic shots. Alright. So yeah, definitely have a full board after this turn. It's just like, I mean, we probably have to just be dropping the Yordles in Arms next turn if we're going to be real about it. Play Powder Pandemonium. Do we ever want to pick up the Pompous Cavalier? I mean, this is a juicy target in terms of playing Yordles in Arms, but it's just going to get blocked. Alright, well, let's see where this gets us. It's not going to be lethal, but he has to play stuff, and a lot of that stuff's just going to get aced. I mean, we can also stun whatever blocks Gnar. It's not that big of a deal throwing... Right, I mean, he's going to get the hook onto the... He's going to get 8 damage in. Looks like that's a lethal up to this point. Okay. Yeah, I boomed him real hard. That's the way life's supposed to be. Alright. Good game. Right. Oof. Oh, man. Just hurt myself. I'm okay. Don't worry. No worries, everybody. All bust is okay here. I'm just old. Get into that stage in life where you hurt yourself coughing. say, oh shit, I hurt myself sleeping last night. Whew. All right, let's see. At least we can recover. My brain works okay. My body's just falling apart a little bit. So, what are we going to do here? We ideally would just be dropping the Urchin here. We could take like 1 hit from Zoe, and maybe look to Mystic Shot her next turn. It's just, you know, everyone loves to get a good bit of value, and we're missing out on a little bit by playing the Urchin here. Okay. It's tough for me to decide, like, you know, when we're just going to be like all in on our aggression, or when we're going to get into some more like value-based games. So like when we played that dude that you know, we played like that 18-minute monster against the Victor deck, and it's like whenever I see things like Zoe, I get a little confused as to how deep we're going to be going with the aggression. Now we have our friend Otterpus here again. It's going to shut us down. Kind of sucks. But we can at least hook it in with Flame Chompers next turn. We'll be Mystic Shotting Zoe here. But, I mean, this may turn around a bit. We get to spend the Mystic Shot on Zoe, assuming that crack happens and doesn't have shenanigans happen. We can follow up with 2 Urchins with the Flame Chompers, but let's see how he goes about it. Oh, he thinks he's going to get our Mystic Shot, huh? Watch this. I got a surprise for you. Ooh. Owned him real good. Oh, fuck. He did have the card. Shit. I take it back. I spoke too soon. We did not own him real good there. All right. point and Fizz makes an appearance. It's a little scary. We don't really have the spells to be getting Fizz going. I'm just going to discard this Mystic Shot. It's way too expensive now. Of course, we draw Flame Chompers immediately after. That's that's just the way it goes. We're going to get boomed this game. Just nothing going right. Okay. How deep's the Zoe? 5 cards? I don't think we have to worry about her flipping. But, I mean, we might have to invest a wallop in her next turn. Ideally, like, I'm going to play the Fizz and I'm going to play the Ballistic Bot this turn. And so, maybe we'll find ourselves, if he doesn't open, well, then we can just block with Fizz. These otter pusses have just destroyed us this game. Oh, great. Now we can play the 5-mana wallop. Just what I was hoping for. Oh, these bros have been working us. That's what got us in that the first loss as well. Of course, we draw our Flame Chompers now. This game is just not meant to be. Sometimes it's obvious that that Riot has it out for you, and you're just not going to win. It's tough. Well, I guess we do have Fizz to block if we really want to get Zoe out of here. I don't feel like we really get any value in opening here. Our board is just horrifically bad. So I mean, it's gonna come down to like how much do we care about getting Fizz in for damage? Not that much. And I think we just have to be kind of ready to make trades across the board. So like looking at something like this, and then I'm going to hook the Sparkle Fly to protect our Fizz. If we trade Fizz for Zoe, that feels like a win at this point. She's really close to flipping. We probably need to just wallop her in combat. Now look how horrible this is. Look how horrible. We have 8 mana, though. Let's just go ahead and play the expensive one. So if we need to follow up with something, we can. If he has another Targon Shield or a good combat trick this doesn't do anything, we can get beyond Pale Cascade. But I feel like if the Zoe flips, we just lose. And then also, our hand is just absolute trash. And so, I mean, it sucks to not be able to play a Star-Tipped Peak this turn, but this is just like way more important trying to kill the Zoe. Seems to have something. Okay. We got out of that mess. Fizz is getting pretty close to flipping as well. He's up to 5 ticks. So he should flip with the Ballistic Bot cast next turn. And we're back in this spot. It was in our expedition video yesterday to where we absolutely got boomed by a Sparkle Fly with Yuumi on it. I'm a little bit worried about that now. We did just pick up the Yordle in arms, and so we can at least interact with this board pretty well next turn. I'm just gonna play everything but the Yordle in arms. Fuck! Just every time, over and over. Ooh, he goes for the Yordles in arm though. We can at least cast that next turn. We can just open cast it. How bad is this shit? Mega T, round start, transform the strongest enemy, that'll be our Ballistic Bot, into a 3/3 and silence it. Okay. Still problematic. I'll give it that. Look how big our dudes are now. So do we actually attack with the mini T? Given there's like 2 things that are good about this, right? It gets the Mega T down to a reasonable range in terms of death, I think we can bring it. It is unfortunately going to pop our Fizz next turn. Right, we'll get the Shark here, assuming we get the Nexus Strike, but then when Dum Dum here silences, it's going to hit our strongest unit, which will be Fizz. That would have been kind of the argument for not attacking with him. Getting scary. There's a big old boy. He did play the Hush in combat though, so he doesn't get the additional Zenith Blade out of this thing. All right, Rip Fizz, you're ready to block now. Can it block? Is it just what this thing does? Transform the strongest enemy and it can't block. That's stupid. So if we take all the damage, we'll die to a pokey stick. We gotta block the mountain goat. So who are we gonna hit with Chum the Waters? Like, not exactly seeing where we're getting our lethal here. We kind of have to win this turn, or this upcoming attack, I should say. But I mean, we can hook the Sparklefly way out to the right. We can hook everything actually, and so it hopefully just doesn't matter in terms of these. We've got 5 from the Chum the Waters, 3 from the Mini T. Okay, we might be able to do this. Right, we're going to Chum the Waters, we're going to Flame Chompers, we're going to Serpent. We may not need to actually use the Vulnerable, since we'll have so many of these sweet dudes on board. Hit for 8 with the Mini T and the 5-2. Oh, and he attaches. Beautiful, beautiful. We ran into these situations quite a few times as we were playing Expedition and then an actual constructed video with Yuumi, as to where you would kind of find these spaces to where you actually just want to put Yuumi on the board. It was typically because we were like attacking and wanting to go wider than our opponent, but this feels like a spot where he most definitely needed to play Yuumi as a unit. I think we're going to get this. So far this is lethal with the 9. We have a pokey stick if we need to. Fuck, now he's going to gain 5 down here on the right. Say F to pay respects. I mean, we could have played the telescope to try and find a silence or something, but you can't break through the Sparklefly. I guess we have the pokey stick to do it, but this is stupid. So we'll take the Judgment, but we're gonna have to find a Dum Dum that can block now. So we have to pokey stick and have it go well. Otherwise, our Boom Baboon is going to get hit with these cards, and it's not going to be able to Judgment down enough. We still can't do it. We're only going to be hitting for 3 now. Who plays that card? It's so dumb. Playing the heals. Alright. So yeah, the Sparklefly is going to get us. Gnar? No, Gnar's a little short. Man, that was a struggle. I mean, I feel kind of like okay that we got ourselves to a spot to where we could lethal, given that like everything in the beginning of that game went wrong. Like Otterpost was just shutting us down left and right, and like finding the space to take down the Zoe after getting like all of our 1 health units boomed by those Otterposts felt really good. It's just I don't know, I don't think you can play around shitty cards like the heal. I don't know. I guess people tend to play them in Pantheon decks, but that was also a 3 champion Pantheon deck, and so I don't know on that. I am happy we found that space to where we could get a lethal with all the challengers, but kind of is what it is. Okay, let's fix the record and move on. All right, on to the next battle. Oof. There he is. There's old Gnar. It's been a couple games since we had to play against Gnar. All right, let's just hang on to the Fizz and look for some of our 2-drops to move on with this. Reasonable enough start. Is he going to do it? Is he going to get in for the turn 1 damage? Of course he's not. They're going to play like, yeah, there you go, Inventive Chemist. So it's going to be something. It always is. Hell yeah, and we're getting this sweet collection of Flame Chompers. Alright, I'm ready. Is this really where we just play Bomber Twins? I mean, the Boom Baboon's a better trade, and it's like he always attacks with the Inventive Chemist here. I think this is okay. And then we should realistically just trade away Fizz, right? We can still play on curve next turn with 2 dudes. We don't have any spells to get him going, and he's just not doing anything here. So let's go ahead and make the sweet trade. I think that's one of the spaces that we'll find ourselves getting really hung up, is getting a little bit too attached to these Fizzes. I bring in the squad. Sure. Because realistically, what else are we doing with this hand? How close you get in action. He's got the 5 ticks on the palace. He's such a scary target to hit with the spells. I mean, this reeks of a shaped stone. There's nothing we can do about it, but that's certainly what this reeks of. Gonna take a quick attack challenge onto the baboon. Oh, are you gonna pass? I wholeheartedly approve of you just passing and not doing anything. Okay, so he's not gonna drop a baboon on us, or drop a shaped stone. So bet he switches the hook to the Boom Baboon. We'll take the Mystic Shot onto action, keep this palace from flipping a little bit. We take extra damage this way from the Fearsome Hunter, but I think it's fine. Now we're stuck just throwing down Hibernating Rock Bear. Everyone knows how much I love the Rock Bear in Expedition. It's translate to Constructed as well. Just absolutely hate it. Card is pure garbage. Oh, he's seen one of these, right? He saw that one Flame Chompers. It's okay. Ooh, Ripper's Bay? We are rolling high today. Rolling high. But, I mean, this is going to be an active Rock Bear. At least with the Rock Bear, it is an actual relevant card as to where Ripper's Bay is just 100% dead 100% of the time. So I got to take back some of the hate for the Rock Bear. He's gonna be a relevant attacker here in a turn. Open. The big open. Boom us with the spears. Oh shit. I dig it. We can't do anything about that. Man. We're just dead. Oof. I like that Papercraft Dragon there. That's a good spot, being able to drop it on the spell shielded unit. Dig it. I dig it. Alright, 3 and 4. On to the next one. We'll get us in 2 more games here. Let's see where we can finish up. Little Sivir Ziggs. It's like, I'm not like... I think I also need to kind of like grasp how aggressive we're ever going to be here. A lot of aggressive decks would never want to just hang on to Gnar. I think it's okay. Especially if we kind of find ourselves in this spot to where, like, we're on the odd attack token, right? So if we play Gnar on 4, maybe shut down an attack, get to send a Pokey Stick to face or something, and then have him ready to attack on turn 5. Could be legit. This stops the same amount of damage, right? With the Ballistic Bot in front of the Saboteur. Not blocking this dum-dum, but gets this. I think it's a little bit safer than just dropping the Baboon.
Are you ready? Let's take it for a spin.
I wonder if he passes. That would be sweet. If he passes, we're definitely passing. I'd like to go into next turn being able to play Gnar and Mystic Shot, or we could Ignite, right? But we have to bank a mana if we want to play Gnar and Ignition next turn. Okay. So maybe we don't play Ignition, we just play the Ancient Preparations. It's going to let him get a... Oh no, it's a spell. Okay, that was a created card. I'm alright with that then. I was going to say, this is kind of bad if he takes the value hook onto the Ballistic Bot, but getting the bonus from the prep is pretty nice.
I know what I want. It's a living.
Alright, so how do we deal with this Sivir? We're just going to get a quick attack challenge on her, right? It's going to be the easy way here with Gnar. They don't have great ways to interact with him, right? It would just have to be Whirling Death. Ooh, Whirling Death would be kind of brutal. Kind of brutal. Uh-oh, he's pausing. I don't like that. We can churn off a bunch of spells here if we have to, but that was a little scary. This is another Papercraft. It's like, god damn it. You gotta stop and see if they're playing the Papercraft Dragons to shut down these Ruin Runners. I think we just want Moonsilver here. Like, we just need to not die, and part of that not dying is just spewing off these cards. Okay. Let's see. I mean, we're realistically going to have to Mystic Shot get excited the Ruin Runner. It's just too much damage otherwise. Hopefully we could like send damage to face though. We can also just like block with a Gnar and then replay with the other one. Maybe that's how we look to do it. This is what, 12? Putting 4 health in front of 1 just isn't enough. And so if we want to take that play as to where we play a Mystic Shot, get excited. Excuse me. That's 5 mana. Replaying Gnar gets us up to 9. Okay, we can do that. Not the idealist way to go about it, but we got an angle. So he's tapped out now. I think we just can't replay Gnar this turn. What if we take an extra 2 damage, though? What if we do it like this? Oh, then we can't block the guy at the end. Need to get excited to be our spell on the right. Take a handful of damage, still got reasonable cards in hand. Okay. Okay, I tell you. Let's see where the cycle gets us. It's kind of interesting in Yordles and Arms. We're too short of getting a kill here, but we could just blast. Oh, actually, no. We've got this Moonsilver that we masterfully kept in hand. We're just going to boom him here. If we played enough? Yeah. Sure have. Oh, man, he's going to get an additional unit. Kind of sucks. But, I mean, getting to take down his Sivir is the big thing here. Yep. Just not dealing with the flipped Sivir. That's going to be way too much problem. Do we go for the damage here, right? He can just block and kill our 6 attacker. I think I like it. This unit sucks after combat. And so let's just go ahead and get the most value out of it we can, right? We're getting essentially 4 damage out of it now, right? Because he would just block Gnar with his 5/2, to whereas on our next attack it's just back down to 2. I think this is pretty reasonable. Cool. And if we want, we got the stun built up from the wallop to stun whatever blocks Gnar next turn. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't think I really approve of that. It gets him down to just having 1 card in hand. We should be pretty set at winning the game after canceling the Noxus Blast. Here we go. Here come the battlers. Says, "Oh, bust! You boomed me. You boomed me good." All right, 4-4. Can we take this onto the winning record? Pull off that 55% win rate that the game so heartily blesses upon this deck. That's tough. I mean, seeing the win rate at like 55%. I know that these people that are actually good at the game are able to carry like 65 and 70% win rates up into Masters, but you can get there with just the 55%er. It just takes fucking forever. You can do the math problem, right? Basically, if you have a 55% win rate and then you play 100 games, you get 10 more wins than losses, and so that takes you up 2 ranks. And so, I mean, if you're pulling that off in Diamond and you need to win 20 matches to get out of Diamond, then you can kind of figure it out from doing that. It should take you about 200 games or so, which if you're going to play 200 games and times it by 10 minutes a game, it's 2,000 minutes. It's a lot of minutes. I hope y'all's got the minutes in your life for that kind of thing. Interesting. He doesn't play anything against Rumbled Draven. I would expect him to have a play. Oh god, that wasn't on my radar. I guess we still get a trade out of this, but like that's an actual card that he loses for our ballistic bot. But I readily admit I wasn't expecting that dum-dum to come down. We're 100% gonna Mystic Shot this Draven, but... Draven down. Okay, let's get Gnar going. I'm happy enough to try and pick up a pokey stick against these little poros. We can get some little poros of our own if we want. Make ours all big. We're already up to the 4 factions played on turn 4, so that took a lot of effort. Let's see. Let's see what we can do.
The sun rock got me good.
Discarded a Fallen Rider.
I'm innocent.
Give me that pokey stick. Man, these cards are all lame. Where'd people come up with this stuff? What a lame-o. Alright. Whatever, dude. I got another Gnar in the wings, but... You'd never see Bust make a lame-o play like that. So who do we want to add in? Gnar's too slow. Let's add in a Poro. So this way we can wallop Draven, 3 attack in front of his Fearsome, take down one of these little Darings. I don't think we're able to play to Yordles in arms here, because we're just not going to have enough board. Only take 3, that's pretty nice. Now we can do some of that control deck thing everybody's talking about. Just pokey stick Gnars all over the place. Let's start here. You know, if he's gonna drop another Survival of the Fittest or whatever that stupid card is called, let's just go ahead and know about it beforehand. This doesn't seem like the best world for Gnar to be in. I think I just want to get the 3 Poros down. We'll attack with these, and then we'll look to have a Yordles in arms attack on our next turn. We should still be pretty close to having a full board. Like, it would be nice to have the 5/5, but I think this is still good.
Hang on. We're rolling.
Okay. Rockfall Path, one of the more interesting landmarks. Just can't sit around and bitch about all of them. We've got a Rockfall Path. We'll go, that's an interesting one. Or you discarded a Lost Soul and something else. You only have Fearsome now. He seems pretty confident in this attack. It's going to be some kind of shenanigans coming down, trying to take down our Gnar, but I think this is still okay. Yeah, we're getting his hand ground down, and we should have a this double flame chompered Yordles in arms attack next turn to try and get something going. We'll try to play the Rockfall Path post combat. Man, you don't have any dudes. I guess we can't really complain about hitting for 10 and killing both of his units, but... Oh, Captain Farron, fuck. I can't complain about that. I can complain about Captain Farron. Where does this get us? We hit for 10. Let's see what the pokey stick does first. We're gonna get boomed for not playing the Rockfall Path. If we'd played the Rockfall Path instead of the Flame Chompers, then we'd be able to actually get Captain Farron next turn. F. Probably dead, but let's see. Gunpowder Pandemonium. I've seen this card so many times coming up on the telescope. Such a trash card. We'll take the Fae. He generates some units. Rush him to dust. So this will take us to 5, and we're just dead to the double decimate. Okay, GG. It's all right. Yeah, not a bad collection of games. We didn't have a spectacular win rate, but I do feel like some of those games were just abysmal in terms of what we drew. And I kind of feel like, though, even if we did play like 100 games, that we'd probably still be like trolling around that 50-55% win rate. It's one of those things that's going to take me a bit of time to come out here and learn constructed and figure out everything going on. I of course have a strong grasp on expedition, but as we're approaching 500 expedition trials for the average of like 5 games at least. You call that like 2,500 games. I don't think I've even played 500 games of constructed, and so it's going to take me a bit of while to get caught back up. But with this deck, there's a lot of power here. A lot of good things happening with it. Is it the best usage of Gnar? Probably not. I feel like there were just too many spaces with this to where to where we just have dead cards, right? We landed on a lot of games where we just had a bunch of flame chompers, and that ultimately feels pretty terrible. Things like Poro Cannon feel pretty terrible if you don't have the Yordles in arms. And so I feel like there are some problems here. I feel like it's a pretty good like core and a pretty good shell. I honestly haven't done tons of research into these lists to find the perfect Yordles in arms list. You probably have to go and subscribe to Dr. LOR for that kind of thing. I'm sure he's got one out there for you. But there were definitely problems with this one and things I didn't like about it. And so it's tough. Is playing Bandle City for Yordles in arms better than doing Lulu Fizz? I don't know. I haven't played enough of it to know the difference. But yeah, in terms of this one, it's like I want one more card to make Flame Chompers do something, right? It's nice when you have like Lulu and Young Witch, and you can make one attack challenges with this thing. It's just when the only thing that this does is either get boosted by Yordles in arms, which granted is great, or it just hooks a unit to protect another unit. That's not enough power for a card. And so this might be the most explosive thing that you can do in the format, right? If you say start Zonite Urchin, you discard the Flame Chompers on turn 1. On turn 2, you drop the Bomber Twins, so you're up to 3 factions. On turn 3, say you play Fizz and then another dude. You play Fizz on 3, and then turn 4, you might be able to get a kill with Yordles in arms. However, all those mathematics work out. You play Fizz and a second Urchin, discard another Flame Chompers. You can definitely get ultra high powered and quick draws with the Yordles in arms. But the question that I start to have after this is, what do we do in those games to where we don't draw Yordles in arms, or if we don't draw it early enough, right? We had some of these games to where we drew it, but it was turn 8, and it was a little bit too late in the game for it to really take hold. And so I think for me personally, in playing this deck, it's going to be finding the balance of learning how much damage you can take without giving up your units, so that you have a full board when you play the Yordles in arms. That has to be the key thing to learn with this deck. I don't have the answers for you for that one. That one's going to take me some more experience to pick up. But playing throughout these various games, I feel like that is probably the big place for you to come out here and learn something. We had lots of these games to where we were just making trades, and then it comes time to play the Yordles in arms, and we only have 3 dudes. And so could we have taken 6 damage to save 3 guys to get a way bigger Yordles in arms a turn or 2 later? That is 100% the big decision making that needs that's going to amount to your success with this deck. And so from a gameplay perspective, that's it. If you want to practice these games, I think that's your point of focus, is saying, okay, do I die to this attack? Probably not. But am I going to die on the next attack token if I let this this attack through. And does taking this damage now stop me from losing in that attack because all my units are so big and my opponent has to chump block all my things? I think that's really where we struggled here. And if I had another 20 or 30 games under my belt, I would be able to explain that one a little bit better. So yeah, there was that. And then, from the deck building perspective, the things I didn't like, Poro Cannon, Flame Chompers, wasn't the hugest fan of them. Wasn't the hugest fan of Boom Baboon. But as you watch my videos and you're just like, oh, Bust just really wants to get out here and play this deck that's playing Gnar that generates Pokey Sticks, the Telescopes, Conchologist, Bomber Twins, Pokey Stick. He just wants to play this Bandle City package that generates cards over and over again. And so I don't know. The Boom Baboon does generate stuff, but I really struggle when we're playing cards that just die to Otterpuss or they just die to our opponent's value units. Like if you just die to a Yordle Squire, it's kind of whatever, but dying to some of these just like pure value chump blockers is pretty abysmal. So nonetheless, I had a good time with this deck. I'll probably continue some of the ladder grind with this, but that is going to do it for us today. And so I was going to end with the thing that had the list of deck stuff we're going to be doing in the future. I'll have to try and go from memory. So we're going to try and do just the big meta deck once a week. We're going to try and do a meme deck for the funds. We're going to try and do a deck doctor kind of thing. So if you have a deck you'd like to work on or think would be fun for us to give a go, send me a deck code over on Twitter. And then we're going to try and do a bust deck, something straight from the brain of FTP Bust coming right at you, and then a gauntlet. There we go. So those were the 5 kind of video things we're going to try and cover each week. And if you have any feedback, agrees, disagrees, something you want to see, something you don't, let me know down in the comment area. But that is going to do it for us today. I hope you all learned how to work arm in arm with the Yordles. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.